while you mentioned it, speak briefly on the age thing, because you said something interesting recently that your daughter, she's 18, I think she's at NYU, and she had to go to the bank to get an apartment or something, and they needed some, I don't know, registered check, and she was just like, I don't think there's banks here. Like, she didn't have a relationship with a bank. You know, at the same time, you got, you know, like HBS in Saudi, who's like 38 years old, and you got this group in the UAE that's a little bit younger that are looking forward, and then you got our 80-year-olds running this country that obviously have a completely different relationship with tech, with all of those things. Just speak on that wide range.
I mean, you know, you've kind of described it. I mean, I'm just relaying what I'm observing. I mean, I don't have any bias necessarily against old people. I just see that, you know, I go to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh, and you can really feel the energy there. MBS is 38 years old, and, you know, there are a lot of, you know, super futuristic projects like NEOM, and people, you know, think potentially those are nutty. But whatever it is, look, they're taking risks, they're evolving. I know you know, women are now actively involved in running the government, whereas, you know, 5 years ago, there were probably none. There's a lot of cultural change, and part of that is also, you know, thinking about future and future currency and future payment systems. They're just embedded. When you're 38, you can have a 20, 30-year view. When you're 80, you kind of don't. And, you know, you're sort of stuck looking back. I don't think they really understand. They certainly don't understand the Satoshi white paper. I don't think even the concept of digital value, like, what does that mean, right? It's so esoteric.
Yeah.
And look, it's not completely their fault. I mean, if I were 80 today, I'd have a hard time with it, right? I mean, I get it. That being said, there's a time where you just step aside, where you realize, look, I'm sort of out of the flow. You know, my leadership skills, you know, are not really great for taking us, you know, to where we need to be over the next 20 years. But there's an entrenched group there of, you know, I guess boomer or whatever it is, a little older. And they're really stubborn, and I think, you know, not really working at the best interest of the country. And you know what? It frankly doesn't matter. These other places will take the bull by the horn. And, you know, eventually the U.S., I guess, will just come along. It's not really so much about like all these different nationalist things. I mean, we've talked a lot about the U.S. and non-U.S., but, you know, you mentioned 85% of the total world trading volume is outside the U.S. This is really, and I've said this many times, the first truly global macro, you know, financial phenomenon. There's nothing that, you know, there's a person in every single country who has a digital wallet, who owns a currency across the socioeconomic strata. It really is sort of the most wide-ranging, I think, financial development, really since the uptake and usage, et cetera, of gold. I think gold is the only other thing that if you go to any country around the world, then they know what gold is, no matter how wealthy or, how much of a, or whatever it is. I think that everyone knows about gold, but there hasn't been anything, even the dollar is, I don't think, is owned certainly as much as Bitcoin even today. So that's maybe a little difficult for us as Americans to handle, right? We're not really an outward-looking country. And look, there are a lot of great things happening in the U.S., so I get it, but this is a global development. And I also saw just in the news, too, that the U.K. is moving towards, this was today, more of a proper framework for cryptocurrency. So one thought at the back of the mind to have is, I mean, you know, the 1970s, the Eurodollar market developed in London, not in the U.S.
Yeah.
So, you know, this regulatory arbitrage, as some people call it, you know, that London, you know, has been, you know, fighting to maintain relevance in the financial front for, I think always. I mean, it hasn't been sort of a global leader for a long time. But they do stake out like ground at the periphery like this at times. So wouldn't it be interesting if the UK, I started having some of my companies go public in the UK.
Yeah.
And then the US is all of a sudden, well, why are these American blockchain crypto companies going public in the UK? Like, shouldn't we be doing this on NASDAQ? And then the next thing you know it, the rules change. So that's what I mean when I say don't count the US out and that competition is healthy. Let these other places lead for now. It's happened before, right? It's happened before.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom.
we choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom.